Welcome to Subramani. There has been a lot of controversy these days about how to charge fees to a client. And in India, the regulators have not given too much freedom to the advisors as to how much to charge. Right? The fees are also regulated. For example, a person who is a mutual fund distributor does charge on the basis of the fact that the asset management company pays fees, right? So the asset management company pays me fees for the money that I manage for you. So it is a percentage of assets, and that is paid by the company which for whom I am the aggregator. So I collect a lot of money from a lot of people and give it to them, and as an aggregator I get paid fees. Or I could be a registered investment advisor. So I sit with a client and say, this is what I will charge you as fees, and the client agrees. Again, that number is regulated by the authorities, which is SEBI. In case of life insurance, the person who regulates it is the insurance authority, which is the insurance regulation and development authority. So banks don't allow any commission to be paid to a person. So if I get a bank or fixed deposit, I can't be paid a commission, right? That's the law which says that it can't be paid. No commission payable on a bank deposit. This comes from a country of shortages where there was no need to have an agent to bring money to the banks. So from there it originated, and it still stays there. So no bank will ever give me an incentive to bring a bank fixed deposit to him or her, and therefore there is no compensation for selling any bank product. So will I recommend an RD or an FD as an agent? Chances are very little. Similarly, post office commissions have been either removed or completely eliminated. I do not know, I don't track them, and therefore the incentive for somebody to sell postal products is not there, because the government believes the rate of interest is so good that there is no need for any commission to be paid. I am not even arguing right or wrong. Similarly, I don't think NPS there is too much of commission, or there is a small amount of commission, because I think the government believes as the amount gets bigger, even the small commission may not look too bad for somebody who stays on for 30-40 years, and it is a product where people will stay on for longer periods of time. Now, should a person be paying a commission on the basis of AUM? That is a big question again, saying should you be paid on AUM or should it be a flat fee? Again, there is a lot of controversy in this. Now, if a client comes and says, I want to do a 5,000 rupee SIP in index fund, honestly, there is no great effort required much for the whether it is the RIA or whether it is MFD to put in here. And if the client says, I'm going to do 50 years of SIP going up by 10% every year, honestly, whatever fees you get in that does not really matter. There is no great involvement. Very clearly, the product has been chosen by the client. The client may not even need an advisor. However, let us look at few clients. Somebody who is doing a 5,000 rupee SIP, somebody who is doing a 50,000 rupee SIP, somebody who moves and says, okay, here I got 70 crores to be managed, and somebody who says, I have 500 crores to be managed. How are you going to deal with each one of them? Typically, as an MFD or a financial advisor or whatever you are called and however you deal, because MFD is only supposed to show the client the range of products and says, here is a large cap fund, here is a flexi cap fund, we have done a research about your risk taking ability, and I think these are the good products for you, and then he chooses. The MFD gets a commission from the AMC. Remember, the commission is being paid by the AMC, but it is taken out of the money of the investor. Fairly obvious. The RIA, on the other hand, has to sit and talk to the client as to how much he will charge and etc. But that is also regulated by the regulator, which is in this case SEBI. Till about 20 crores of AUM, it hardly matters whether you get paid, whether you charge a flat fee or whether you charge on an AUM basis, simply because the numbers are today shrinking. The AUM based fees also, once upon a time it used to be 2%, it now something like 0.7%. If you consider GST and tax, etc., it may come down to 0.5%. Will you be able to get good quality advice at amounts less than that? I have my doubts. So till that there is a cutoff. Now take a client who has got 100 crores. At 100 crores, he says, look, some portion of my money I want to keep in a liquid fund, some portion of my money I want to keep in an index fund, some portion of my money I want to keep in an active fund. That active fund I want you to handle. The other two, I will not need an advisor, I will do it direct. Fine, which means the client has 100 crores, but maybe you are handling only 25-30 crores. There you can choose how to charge a fee. You can actually charge a flat fee, saying I'll charge you 5 lakhs a year, or I'll charge you 10 lakhs a year, or something like that. But again, that is regulated by SEBI. Now take a person who has got 500 crores to invest, or 700 crores to invest, or 600 crores to invest. How do you handle this person? Here the quality of advice changes dramatically, because that person is not coming just to a mutual fund distributor or an insurance salesperson. You may be that, but apart from that, you're going to sit with the client and spend a lot of time in understanding the philosophy of the investment, in understanding how the whole family looks at investment, how well educated the family is about investing, right? All these things come into play. You will also suggest that they should have a lawyer, and I'm sure when somebody has 400 crores or 500 crores, they will have a lawyer who understands the implication of future changes. Could there be a estate duty? Could there be wealth tax, right? You have to think about these things. There's nothing you can do about it, but in case it is there, how much money do you want to hold, in what form? Do you want some money to be held in the name of the children? Will you tell the children even when they are 17, 18 that in our house, if there is a marriage, there will be a prenup to be signed? Do you spend time with the children, not just with the parents, getting them educated on financial matters, whatever is happening in the world, how to read? I have actually done this session for a family of 6-7 children, between cousins and all that, and where they sat and asked me questions on what is happening in the economy, what books to read, what not to read, how to get influence, how not to get influence, whom to listen, whom not to listen, whom to watch, what to watch, right? All these things. So you spend time doing such stuff, which you don't do for a family with say 20 lakhs of investment or 25 lakhs of investment. You can. Today technology is available. I can do a video shoot and send it across to them. But physically, I have done this for one business family. Then sitting with them and asking them whether they have made a will, asking them how they want the future generations to handle, what if they sell a bigger stake of their business, what will happen. Also understanding that 500 crores may not mean anything, because their whole business is worth 20,000 crores, and all the risk of equity they are already taking in the 20,000 crores. So this 500 crores can go completely into government securities or cash, or liquid funds and G-Secs, and maybe 500 crores goes into liquid, and some money goes into G-Sec, and some money goes into some international index fund, and something into an international REIT. That's it. There's no great amount of thinking to be done, saying, okay, you're already taking the India risk, so let us take some risk and keep it outside, or something like that. It could be as simple, or to say, okay, out of these 500 crores, 100 crores we will invest in companies which are not in the business in which you are. So if you are in some business, say you are in the hotel business, we will invest in companies which are not in hotel or in entertainment, or maybe not even airline, right? So we will look into funds which don't invest in these things. So it could be healthcare, it could be somewhere else, or if it is the family is selling its stake in a hospital, you may want to put it in a fund which does not have healthcare, right? So there is a tremendous amount of effort required when the amount is bigger. You also have to find time to sit with their lawyer, with their chartered accountant, with their own ability to understand complicated stuff, and also saying, look, if it's too complicated, say you don't want this. That's also perfectly right. Their right to deny, right? And insisting that 2-3 people in the family be involved in this. So all these effort gets paid some way, right? So you can say, okay, you got 500 crores, 1% comes to 5 crores. I think 1% is too high. 0.5% comes to 2.5 crores. I think that's also high. Maybe I will charge you a 2 crore fee, or I'll charge you a 1 crore fee, and balance I will charge you per meeting. I'll charge you 1 crore for this, which comes, no, it's not a percentage. I'll charge you 1 crore per annum, and I will charge you per meeting. I'll charge you 25,000 rupees. When when I have to meet your lawyer, when I have to meet your chartered accountant, etc. You don't want to be called regularly for meetings where you don't get compensated. So something like that, some flat fee and a percentage, or some fee which includes employing people, because you will definitely have to employ somebody to look after all this, right? Especially if you're going to do the execution. So when you are doing all this, then you have to take a view as to how to charge, right? So nothing right or wrong about how much fees to charge, etc. Ultimately, it is a question of what the advisor wants to charge and how the client is willing to pay, and then what the regulator says, because the regulator puts some caps on how much you can charge, and also a fact that you cannot do a quasi distributor and quasi advisor. So find out in what combination you will want to do this. So some of these things you have to find out at what range you are, what amount of services you want, because a person who is an advisor, when he does the execution or she does the execution, they also look at it regularly and say, I think something is wrong with this fund, or something is wrong with this fund manager. When execution is done by somebody else, for example, if I tell them that this is how they have to execute, and they execute it through a bank, there's a damn decent chance that somebody comes from the bank and changes the allocation, or says, no, this term insurance is going to give you nothing. When you have so much money, why are you saving money? Why don't you put into an endowment plan, or something like that, right? So these kind of changes could happen. So these nuances you should know, and you don't want to sit with the banker and say what he should be doing, because he comes with a fairly independent mind saying, I want to do this. So question is, depending on the amount of money that you have to invest as a family, like I'm saying, if you're a big family with 500 crores or 1000 crores, recently I saw somebody with 165 crores investing, and it was being invested in 4 or 5 names. So you need to be involved at a different level in all these things, right? Even saying you need a prenup for your son's marriage, you need a prenup for your daughter's marriage, these are not things which a typical financial advisor will say, but your financial advisor may not do it. Your financial advisor may just do a finger pointer and tell you that this has to be done with a lawyer, and sit with a lawyer, sit with a chartered accountant, whatever. So all those things have to be done. So how do you compensate each person? Well, you compensate differently. Thank you.